thy blessings. Unburden yourself.
Ow, 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 ow.
And welcome to the Church of Last Resort with the Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll. The Church of Last Resort, where your prayers are heard, your sins forgiven, and no matter what you believe, you won't believe this shit. And now, the Irreverent Reverend, the Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll.
Good morning. I'm sorry, did you not hear me? I was saying good morning. I'm assuming you couldn't hear me because I was pushing the wrong buttons because today is Easter Sunday. And my good friend, my usual producer is not here today. He's got the day off. I gave everybody the day off except for me. I'm the one working today. And as a matter of fact, I'm barely working because as you can see, I can't see a damn thing without my glasses. So I'll tell you what, while I get my glasses, I got my glasses right here. And while I finish getting dressed, all right. Thank you, brothers and sisters. I have a long story to tell this morning. Before I even get to this, well, let's do this. I'm sorry. It's been a very hectic morning and a very hectic evening. But so let me get this right for you. Good morning, brothers and sisters. Happy Easter. As we say in the business, he is risen. That's what we say in the business. We say a few other things, and we say a lot of things in the business because that's otherwise it wouldn't be the business. If you just said one thing, what kind of business would that be? But so looks like my curtain's crooked. It is crooked. I'm sorry. I gotta fix that because I'm kind of anal like that. What's going on here? Never mind. You know something? I can live with that. There's going to be a lot of mistakes this morning because I'm here by myself and I can't keep track of everything. But I know a lot of people are at their home churches this morning, so probably not a lot of people watching me this morning, but that's okay. So, good morning, brothers and sisters. And this includes any new members who may be watching us today for the first time. And wherever you may be, wherever you want to be, because you may not be wherever you want to be, there you are. Welcome to the Church of Last Resort. I am the Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll, PhD, DDS, ADHD, MCM, LIX. People have also called me the racy reverend, the pervert pastor, the foul vulgar vicar of vice, the sexy shepherd, the missionary man, the minister of mischief, the wicked witness, the dirty deacon of doggy style, the frisky friar, the ass man abbot, the booty banging brother, the handsy high priest, Father Fismus, the wicked I like to watch witness, the holy ho, the divine dominating dominee, the depraved preacher, and let me see, the minister of making love, the clergy of cunning conversation while eating pussy, and that nasty N-word. That's right. The point is that I come by many names and by many methods, but I do not come easy. No, I do not. Lord have mercy. So let us begin, as always, in the name of George Carlin, Robin Williams, and Richard Pryor. Can I get a fuck? Yeah. That's right. I wasn't going to drop the mic because I had nothing to say. Oh yeah. Sorry. And thank you for the extra fuck yeah. Okay, well, let's stop the fuck yes. Yeah, because that wasn't supposed to happen. And that's not supposed to happen. Before I start the opening prayer, I'm going to tell you why things are a little bit hectic. Tell you why they're a little bit hectic. Last night, where I live in Carroll County, Maryland, around 10 o'clock, my phone and my wife Mona's phone, we got this alert letting us know that severe thunderstorms were coming through the area. Severe. And they're talking about the storm itself. The storm itself was moving 70 miles an hour. Okay. We had winds of up to like 80 miles an hour. Real serious shit. And I know, and And it was only like a 25-minute storm. That's it. It was 25 minutes of that. But it came through with such fury that people who were like, have overactive imaginations are saying, "Oh, it's Easter. He's coming back." That's what that is. He's coming back, and he's pissed, because shit was flying that don't usually fly in my yard. Okay, I mean, we have my wife and I have an outdoor cat house because there are some stray cats that live outside. They don't want to be indoor cats. They want to be stray, but we have a heated home for them out there. So when the weather gets cold, they have a heated house they can go into if they don't want to go to like the shed, which is not heated. It is sheltered and is protected from the elements, but there's no heat. So if it's just a clear night and otherwise cold, they can go in there if they want to. That house, whoo, blown there. We have a table on our deck, a glass table, and we've had it for I don't know, since like 2014 or something. We've had that table for like a lot of years, and it's seen a lot of shit. It's been through, let me see, Florida, 2 different houses in Maryland. It's been through a lot of stuff, and it's been through a lot of storms because it's an outdoor glass table. It's been through a lot of storms, but last night's storm, oh Lord, you ever hear sounds? You're bunkered down in the house trying to be safe and sound, and outside all kinds of hell is breaking loose, and you hear things fly and rip and bang, and you go like, I wonder what that is. I wonder what that is. Oh shit, I wonder what that is. I wonder what that is. Well, this morning I found out what all of those bats were. One of those bats was our glass table. It just like up. I didn't watch it, but I know what had to happen because of science. The wind was blowing from if I'm looking at you, okay, I am looking at you, but imagine that I'm looking at you and you can see beyond those walls. The wind was coming from my back towards you. Okay, that's the direction the wind was blowing. And so our lawn furniture, not our lawn furniture, our chairs and tables are on that side against the rail, and the wind is blowing that way. So if you just look at that, it looks like they didn't get touched. I went out this morning to check on the cat house to make sure that was okay. And I didn't even notice that our table wasn't there. I just saw the cat house was turned over, and if it weren't plugged into the wall, the only thing that stopped it from being torn down the street was the fact that it was plugged into the wall, and I had the plug kind of wrapped just in case something should, try to pull the plug out. I was trying to protect the plug from coming out. I wasn't trying to protect the cat house from blowing away. I didn't even think that was an option. So I didn't even notice that the table was gone. I went out, checked on the cat house, saw that our cooler was blown into the yard. It was okay, well, we can get that, no biggie. And I looked out over that way, about 75 feet from the house. The glass table was in the middle of no, did I see that? I didn't check that yet. I hadn't checked that yet. My wife is the one who told me. I went back in the house and I looked out front. I wanted to see what damage was out there. We have a huge pine tree out back. Beautiful pine tree. It's like 60 feet tall. And it's gone. It's gone. It's snapped in two places. It snapped, and some of the branch, it's just gone. And the thing is, there's so many animals that lived in that tree because it's been there for, I don't know how long it takes for a pine tree to grow to be 60 feet tall, but however long it takes, I know a lot of animals lived in there because a lot of bees, a lot of birds and squirrels had nest in there, and they're gonna have to find new homes. And by the time I plant another tree to grow that tall, I might be dead. I could be dead. I don't know. It would take a long time, so I can't replace that tree. They're gonna have to move to another tree, and we don't have a lot of trees around here that aren't occupied already. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't know if they're gonna be able to stay in the neighborhood or unless they have relatives, they're gonna let them stay there with them. Because, like I said, that tree was huge, and you could have like maybe 60 residents in there, and they never see each other. You know what I'm talking about? They could like go up the tree, go to their own little house, and never see or hear from their neighbors. That's how big that tree was. It's gone. It's gone. It just, matter of fact, our first Christmas in this house, we didn't. Well, my wife and I don't put up trees and stuff. We don't decorate. We don't put up the trees. We don't do that shit. Okay, that's, we're not hypocrites like that. We don't pretend to be celebrating like that. We don't put up the trees. But our steps and our boy sent us Christmas gifts one year. The first year we were here, sent us Christmas gifts and a lot of stuff. And he said, "You gonna put it under your tree?" And we were like, "Yeah, we'll put it under the tree." And what I did was I went outside and I got a red blanket and I wrapped it around that pine tree, the 60-foot tall, put it around the pine tree. And I put all the gifts under that pine tree. And I took I took actually a video, and I started off close so you can't tell how big the tree is. And I just started walking backwards and tilting up. So keeping the gifts in the frame, and then I back up and try until I got the whole tree in the frame, and the gifts are like this big under the tree. That was first Christmas. That video is like 4 years old. So, and that tree's grown since then. So, Lord have mercy. The tree's gone. It's snapped. It's broke about 12 feet from the ground. And then one of the branches that's huge, because the branch is so big, I thought that was a tree unto itself. That's broken. And a lot of our other trees have snapped branches that are the size of small trees all over the yard. Our recycle, and this is why I was a little bit hectic, because our recycle can got blown out front. It got blown from back there. See this wall here? Right on the other side of this wall. Well, not right on the other side of this wall, because on the other side of this wall is another wall, because there's a room there. But on the side of the wall, on the other side of the wall, on the other side of this wall, on the other side of that wall, that down on the ground, that's where our recycle can is, and our trash can. And the wind blew that way out there. Now, our trash can was empty, because I don't put the trash in that until tonight to go for tomorrow. But the recycle can, I'm constantly putting stuff in the recycle. And a lot of it's paper and cat food cans and little plastic navage things. Now, salt pods. Now, those of you who have allergies and had a navage, I'm not doing a commercial for them unless they want to pay me, because I do swear by that product. But I use that like once a day, twice if it's flu season, then I'll do it twice. Once when I wake up and once when I go to bed. And if I'm around people, like if I go out and I'm around a bunch of people during flu season, I come home and I navage immediately to get whatever's in there out. Because we're always bombarded with germs. Always. There's always germs in our face and in our nose and on our skin. The reason why we're not always sick is because it's usually not enough to make us sick. It's just enough that our body says, "Hey, attack," and it can get rid of it. Plain and simple. Because we're always bombarded with germs and poisons and things that if we got to a large enough amount would kill us. So when I'm around a bunch of people, I come home, I take the navage, and that way, I minimize it. I'm very, very seldom sick. But let me see. Our trash recycle gets picked up every week. So that means there's between no less than 7 and probably no more than 14 of those little green pods all up and down the neighborhood. Paper, a lot of paper, because we recycle. And I had to walk acres and acres to get as much of our trash. If I could, see, I'm going through other people's yards dressed in my pajamas. Other people's yards dressed in my pajamas, picking up trash and putting it in my recycle. And I'm thinking, they don't mind that there's an old minister in his pajama bottoms walking around the neighborhood with his trash can in his little claw, so he doesn't have to bend over picking up stuff. He's just walking around all the neighbors' yards cleaning up trash because it was my trash, okay? And I don't want other people having to clean up my mess. So I'm out there this morning, and I could have waited till after the show, but I don't know how much further it would have gone. You know what I'm saying? It could have gone way, way beyond the yard. I mean, if it was way beyond the yard, it was in three different yards. So picked all that up, and I videotaped it, and I was hoping that I could show you the video of all the damage, but I didn't have enough time. I barely made it to the show. Barely made it to get to this. So that's what that was happening this morning. There's so much more to tell you about it, and I will probably next week when I get the video, just so I can show you what happened. But those of you who also went through that, I hope you came through okay. I hope you, like I said, power went out 2 or 3 times, but it was only out for a couple of seconds. Where we have reliable power. Part is because we've had that storm that knocked us out for 2 weeks. And they knocked the power out for 2 weeks because there was like 30 or 40 telephone poles knocked down. So and they were new telephone poles. So they didn't want that to happen again. So when they put up the new poles, they're like, no, motherfucker, you stand up. Because we're not going to go through this shit again if we can help it. Places closed for people without power for like 2 weeks, at least 30, I counted 30 telephone poles. That's just me driving up down the road. I don't even know about telephone poles that are in easements. But there were only the new poles that were broken. All the old poles, they were fine. Must be different wood, different trees, different warranties, So, I'm sorry, I'm thirsty, but I haven't gotten to the part for the bump for the Lord. So let me get through this. No, I need them. I'm sorry. I got to have this. I'm thirsty. Yeah, Lord have mercy. This is real water. You can hear it. See, real water. Oh shit! I forgot to do something. I forgot a video I was going to load up. I don't know if I can do it now. I don't have anything. I don't know. Well, here it is. It's time for the opening prayers. And if I get a chance to open up that video, to load it up, I will. I won't, because I need it in about 4 minutes, and I don't have time to do that. Okay, never mind. It's time for our opening prayers. If you or someone you know is in need of a prayer, like me right now, the Dr. Reverend Jelly, by me, the Dr. Sorry, not just like me, but by me, the Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll, please send your request for a prayer, a healing, forgiveness, or any such requests to me at drreverendjellyroll.com. And that's DREVJELLYROLLE@gmail.com. Please remember to spell roll with an E on the end. Otherwise, that other Jelly Roll, not me, will wind up with your request, and you do not want any of those other Jelly Rolls handling your blessings or your prayers or whatever it is. You don't want them touching it. Let me touch them, but not them. I washed my hands. Look at it, and I did my nails. Look at that. So please bow your head. I didn't finish. I didn't do the disclaimer. So don't bow your heads yet, because I haven't read the disclaimer. You bow your head now, I can get in trouble. Now for our disclaimer. While all prayers are heard, not all prayers are answered when we want them to be. Some loopholes and restrictions may apply. Now, please bow your head, unless you're driving your car or your significant other. And if that is the case, just close your eyes and let Jesus do the driving while we pray. Amen. Dear Lord, please bless Brother Wink Martindale, TV and radio host. Wink Martindale, best known for helming the game shows Gambit and Tic-Tac-Doe, has died, according to reports and his pulse. He was 91. Yes, indeed. Now, the former disc jockey, who was born Winston Conrad Martindale, died April 15th. I hope he filed an extension, because he's going to be a little late. Government does not fucking play, especially this administration. Oh, you know something? They fired like half the IRS staff. don't worry about the extension. Nobody's going to be around to audit you. And that's not protect you. They fired him so they wouldn't audit their rich friends. Because like every year, like $7 or $8 billion goes uncollected in taxes by the rich people who hide their money, and so they have to be audited for you to find that money. And so if they fire those IRS auditors, they can't audit them and can't get those billions of dollars. I know. Talk about waste, fraud, and abuse, right? So I guess it doesn't matter if he filed the extension. Well, he was rich though. Yeah, he's probably fine. Well, he died in Rancho Mirage, California, while surrounded by his family. Oh, Lord. His cause of death was either undisclosed disease, which is what they're saying. They're saying that it's undisclosed disease, or it was lymphoma, or it was his family. Those are the three things that I would bet on. If you have the What Killed Wink Martindale bingo card, I would put your money on undisclosed disease or lymphoma or family. Because at 91, all three can be fatal. As a matter of fact, so can sudden movements and sudden surprises. Martindale, who previously hosted at the Memphis, Tennessee stationed WHBQ in Tennessee, broke into the TV world with a hosting gig on the WHBQ TV show Mars Patrol, a sci-fi series for children he led from 1953 to 1955. I guess, now I did not see the show, I researched it, and I'm assuming that Mars Patrol would be like Star Trek if Captain Kirk were celibate. All the adventures and none of the adventure. Okay, yeah. After hosting the musical game shows, What's This Song and Words and Music for NBC, Martindale became a household name when he was chosen by the CBS to head its blackjack-themed series, Gambit, in 1972. He hosted the show's original run through 1976 and later emceed a Las Vegas spinoff on NBC from 1980 to 1981. Now, for those of you who failed biology, the Vegas spinoff is a branch of the vagus nervous system, and the vagus nerve carries signals between your brain, heart, and digestive system. Okay, they are the main nerves for your parasympathetic nervous system, the vagus nerves. So that's the Vegas spinoff. Is okay. So you follow? Got it. Brief biology lesson. Martindale also hosted the CBS revival of the NBC trivia game show Tic-Tac-Doe from 1978 to 1985. His other credits include High Rollers and Headline Chasers, the latter of which he created and co-produced with fellow TV host Merv Griffin. Martindale was married to Sandy Farrar, who previously dated singer Elvis Presley. Martindale was also friends with Presley, who appeared on the TV show Teenage Dance Party in 1956. Presley, according to Sandra Farrar, Presley was responsible for my marrying Wink. When Martindale said he was from Tennessee, she thought he must be a nice guy because she loved the state and she loved all the guys and everything in the state of Tennessee because of Elvis. Okay, somebody needed to sit down on the couch and talk about that shit. Okay, I mean, in a way, I kind of understand it, but no. Well, that's just something. That's a story for another time. Because I just realized maybe she has something there. Aside from his hosting prowess, Martindale scored a pop hit in 1959 with his rendition of the recitation song, the deck of cards. Okay. Now, this is where I had a little presentation to show you, because I don't know how many people knew that video, the deck of cards. You know something? I'm going to see if I can do it. I don't know if I can, because this is asking me to, not this, but I, first of all, I can't see. Nope, I don't know if I can do it. No, sorry, I can't do it. I really wanted to pull that up and show you, but I can't. Basically, the song, it's a spoken word song. There's like little churchy music playing in the background. And then it's about a guy uh, who's from a town called Casino or something. And he's a soldier in the war, and at church. And during the church, the minister asked everybody to pull out their Bibles so they could read from the Bible text. And this one soldier didn't have a Bible. He had, let me show you what I'm talking about. You may not know. Okay. He did not have a Bible. The only thing he had was a deck of cards. This is like a deck of cards here. See, right there. That's my deck. That's my face right there. And oh, you can't see what the inside looks like, but that's there. So, but all he had was a deck of cards. And so he got in trouble for having a deck of cards in church. And so they yelled at him, and they took him, after church service, they took him to the provost officer or something, and the officer says, explain yourself, because if you don't, I'm going to punish you like you've never been punished. And that's pretty much a quote from the song. And I immediately thought to myself, really? You went around for my first marriage. You can't punish me worse than I've ever been punished. I've already been punished the most I've ever been punished. So, and he goes through each deck of card. He goes through each card of the deck and what it means. When I see the ace, I think of the ace is the one, and I think of the one God, and I see the two. I think of the two sections of the Bible, the New Testament and the Old Testament, and he goes through like that all the way up through the Kings. And then he goes through the number of cards in the deck, the number of suits in the closet. No, number of suits in the deck, and he goes through this whole thing. That song, it made it like number 7 on the Billboard chart. Not only that, other people did that song as well. He wasn't Wink Martindale was not the first, was not the only one to do that song. So other people had done it as well. But anyway, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Sorry about that. Yeah. At any rate, that was that song. So rest in peace, Wink. Your song may have peaked at 7, but I'm willing to bet that when you peaked and got in trouble for voyeurism, that when you peaked, you got in trouble for voyeurism. That's right. I messed that up, didn't I? See, because that song peaked at number 7 in Billboard 100. So rest in peace, Wink. Your song may have peaked at number 7, but I'm willing to bet that when you peaked, you got in trouble for voyeurism. Can I get a set of binoculars? Dear Lord, please bless Brother Nicky Cat. Nicky Cat took his own life on or about April 6th. Like the sign says, need a life, take a life, have a life. Good for you. Brother Nicky suffered from depression. The dazed and confused actor was found dead in his Burbank apartment on April 8th by his landlord, who was attempting to collect overdue rent. The 54-year-old cat died by hanging. The landlord sold the rope on eBay, and that covered the rent and the fee to have ServPro clean up. ServPro, like it never even happened, except a suicide. A cat is still dead. No matter how much ServPro cleaned up, he's still dead. A regular of sorts in Richard Linklater. Okay, let's try that again. If you know how to pronounce his name, pronounce it quietly to yourself. Okay? And then let me know how I screwed it up. A regular of sorts in Richard Linklater. Damn it. Linklater. It's got to be later. It's only got one T there. One more time. A regular of sorts in Richard Linklater films, Cat was perhaps best known for his turn as the high school Texan bully Clint Bruno in the director's bicentennial-based Dazed and Confused from 1993. His lines of, quote, "I only came here to do two things, man, kick some ass and drink some beer," close quote. Then, quote, "Looks like we're almost out of beer," quote, close quote. That has become part of quotable movie canon. So a lot of people have quoted that and different versions of it. So now you know who he is. I guess. I still don't, but you may have seen that movie. On the small screen, that would be the TV, not your phone. Yeah. Because right now, when they I don't know why the news report would say, excuse me, on the small screen and not indicate that they're talking about the television set, because to the old people, the big screen was the movies, the small screen was TV. But most people have an even smaller screen, their phones. So on the small screen, TV, Cat rose to prominence as unorthodox teacher Harry Sennett during the 2000 to 2004 run of Boston Public on the Fox network. On the big screen, as well as his work with Linklater, Cat also had prominent supporting roles in films by Steven Soderbergh, Robert Rodriguez, and Christopher Nolan. His filmography included The Limey, Sin City, which I like Sin City, and Insomnia. Other credits were The Way of the Gun, Suburbia, School of Rock, and the Woody Allen play A Secondhand Memory, among other things. That's right. Amen. So, Cat also guest starred in dozens of television series, including Friends, King of the Hill, Monk, Law and Order, and most recently, Casual in 2018. His latest appearance on film was in 2013 in the HBO's award-winning Beyond the Candelabra, directed by Soderbergh. And I think Cat played the candelabra. I could be wrong. It's been a while since I've seen that movie. Rest in peace, Cat. If you thought you had 8 more lives, you were mistaken. Can I get a little more beer and a little more ass? Amen. Oh, sorry, a lot more ass. Woohoo! Dear Lord, please bless Critical Joke Theory. Critical Joke Theory was a show written, performed, directed, edited by G.D. Fenderson. Did at least 101 episodes, at least. He's done it for a few years now. It's taken a toll. He's got a lot of other things he has to do. And it takes a lot of time. It may not look like it takes a lot of time, but it does. It takes a lot of time to produce that news segment or punchline the headline segment, where it's like, when you think of like 30 minutes. Actually, it depends. See, if you're on TikTok, you're only seeing snippets, and you may see like a 90-second snippet here, a 1 minute snippet there, and so you don't realize that it's actually a 30-minute production. Now, if you watch it on YouTube, you realize it's a 30-minute production, and he edits in a lot of photography or graphics to help people follow along with the news stories and along with the jokes or the snarky comments. So he's been doing that for a while. Like I said, at least 100 episodes, a little over 100 episodes. And it's had a few incarnations. But right now, like I said, it takes him roughly 10 to 12 hours to do that 30-minute thing, from writing it to recording it to researching it, to editing it, adding the graphics, then uploading it to the different platforms. it takes more than 12 hours with all that said. And he has 2 new shows he's working on. One he should be doing, I think, in July. Uh, it's unnamed as of right now. And then the other one he's doing in September, and that one's called Reopening Old Wounds. So he's got those 2 shows to write. And then he's starting a new podcast with Alan Katz, ALANKTZ. You may know him from Tales from the Crypt, the movie, the TV show Outer Limits, the movie Dead Easy, and the movie Bordello of Blood. And also he has many podcasts of his own. Well, he and GD are working on a podcast, which they plan to put out in June. And that's going to be a lot of research and a lot of writing for that one as well. So something has to give, he just can't keep adding stuff like that. And plus he writes for me. He's my writer as well. So he and I write together for this podcast, for this show. So he's going to take a break from critical joke theory. If it gets to the point where he feels like he needs to go back to it, he'll probably do a shorter version, maybe just an editorial, but as of right now, he has to take a break from the whole thing. So rest in peace, critical joke theory. And happy anniversary to my wife, Amona. On Saturday, I celebrated my 19th wedding anniversary. And my wife is celebrating on Monday because she needed some extra time to think about her answer. And on that day, she will have been married 19 years. 19 years we've been married. Now we've been together since 2003, I think, 2003. So we've been together for like 22 years, but we've been married for 19. We got married on April 21st, 2006. I'm saying that so that my wife knows I know our actual anniversary date, because we celebrated it yesterday because our actual anniversary is on a Monday, and you can't get freaky on a Monday. You can't. If you want to get freaky, it's got to be on a Saturday. And then you got to be so freaky that you cause a storm of like 80-mile-an-hour winds, which just tear your shit apart. The yard. Whew. I talked about that already, right? Okay. So, happy anniversary, Ramona. Mona, you've been the best thing that's ever happened to me. Thank you. And in that time, you gave me 2 wonderful children and a wonderful cat and a wonderful dog. You made our house a beautiful home. And what else can I say? You stuck around me when I'm sure nobody else would have put up with this shit. You have the patience of a saint. Love you. And finally, you know something? This is the part where I'm saying, bless the behind the scenes staff at Mind Dog TV. Okay, I'm still going to bless them, but they're not here today. They're not working today. They took the day off. You know something? I would be really hurt if they didn't show up today because they went to their home church, because I thought I was their home church. But if they're not here because they're like at another church, with their family, I thought I was their family. I'm going to be very, very hurt if that's the case. Oh, and that probably is the case. So I was checking the comments. I see somebody liked the show, but I don't see any comments. But probably because they're watching on Facebook, and I can't see the comments on Facebook. Okay. So the behind the scenes staff of Mind Dog TV, you're blessed. Bless you. But today I'm by myself, which is why it's a little bit crazy. It's a little bit hectic. And if I was thinking right, I would have remembered that I have to do this. That's right. So this is where I do the bump for the Lord. But like I said, it's been a hectic morning. I didn't have time to fill my whiskey flask. I mean, I got it. It's right here. Right here, see? But it's empty. Watch, I'll show you. Look at that. Empty. Not a drop. Not a single drop. Because I didn't get a chance to fill it this morning. But that's okay, because I'm actually thirsty for the good stuff. This is water and ice. See, water and ice. So, it doesn't, something, you do a bump for the Lord. It does not have to be alcohol. It can be water. It can be soda. It can be tea. It can be coffee. The point is, you do it for the Lord. So, my little bump for the Lord. Oh, I needed that. Yes, indeed. So, got the burpees, sorry. In the name of George Carlin, Robin Williams, and Richard Pryor, can I get a fuck? Yeah, yeah. Can I? Fuck yeah! All right. There we go. Now, brothers and sisters, before we go on to our sermon today, which is called Burning Down the House and the Senate, I'm going to tell everybody how, if you're interested to getting on Coffee with the Dog Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Sorry about that. Sister Golden Hair So Bright is going to, Sister Curly Hair So Bright is going to tell you how to do it. Sister Curly Hair?
Comedians, musicians, songwriters, filmmakers, authors, and podcasters. Coffee with the Dog is booking for the
Spring and summer.
now. Get free publicity and hone your interview skill in a fun and safe setting. Coffee with the Dog is a live radio, live stream podcast based in New York that airs daily Monday to Friday 9 a.m. to 11 o'clock in syndication on iHeartRadio, as well as video streaming platforms like YouTube, Twitch, Rumble, and many other platforms. Guests usually come on remotely via StreamYard, like Zoom but easier, although occasionally we do in-studio interviews. The morning show focuses mainly on comedians and musicians, and they have interviewed many top names and classic celebrities such as Robert Klein, Mike Binder, Eddie Brill, Doug Stanhope, Steve Byrne, Paul Provenza, Jeff Altman, and many, many others. For booking, go to minddogtv.com/booking.
There you go. Thank you, Sister Curly Hair So Bright. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate what you've done with your hair today. It was really nice. You notice how she did her hair just for us today, just for Sunday. Bless you, sister. Now, as to our sermon, burning down the House and the Senate. Now, first of all, I am not speaking literally, figuratively speaking. I am speaking metaphorically and acting metaphysically in a hyperbolic sense and a parabolic nonsense. I put it like that because I do not want anyone to get the idea that I am talking about literally burning down the House and the Senate. Okay? I'm talking about a hard reset. A hard reset. Okay? As the stock market tumbled in the aftermath of convicted felon, unregistered sex offender, public housing resident Donald Trump, as a result of his sweeping tariffs, Republicans in Congress were watching with unease and talking of clawing back their power to levy tariffs. Okay? But almost none seemed ready to turn their words into action. That's right. And even the 7 that are talking about it are only talking about it. They're threatening to threaten, and even a bill, there's a bill by a Democrat I can't remember her name off the top of my head because I didn't know I was going to mention this. But even that bill says if the tariff is, limits the tariff to 60 days, and if that's the case, they can, after 60 days, they can like stop it or some bullshit. 60 days is a long time. Okay, when you don't have enough money to be paying an extra 10% on your food and groceries. 60 days, that's 2 months. Okay. To some people, that's like two mortgages, 2 car notes, two or 2 rents due. I mean, hell, you just saw what happened to Nicky Cat. His rent was overdue and he hung himself. So that's a lot of extra stuff to be putting on people for 2 months. People that are living paycheck to paycheck. So even that bill, 60 days, that's too long. That's too much time to do too much damage. Okay. The Trump, no president has the power to do that with the tariffs. That's a from the purse. That is a power given to Congress, the House and the Senate. Okay. Trump snatched that power under the guise of some kind of emergency. But tariffism is not one of the things that he's allowed to do under that. The word tariff is not mentioned in there anywhere. Okay. And this is the crucial part. 6 of the 9 justices or injustices on the Supreme Court are what they call contextualists, literalists. If it's not in the Constitution, you do not have that right. That is the reason that they say abortion is not a right. And that's why they repealed Roe v. Wade and Dobbs. That's why they redecided it, because they said abortion is not in the Constitution, literally. And so therefore you do not have that right. You do not have that right. So in keeping with that, since tariffs is not one of the responsibilities given to the president in any way, shape, or form, if Congress did their job, they could stop him and they'd have the court's backing. See, because literally Trump does not have the right to do that. So all of this shit we're going through with the stock markets going up and down, and our 401ks probably being lost, could be lost forever, depending on how much money you have in there. Your Social Security could be lost forever, depending on what you got there. All these powers he's like snatching up that he doesn't have, literally does not have. If Congress would just step up, if the Republican-controlled House and the Republican-controlled Senate step up, they could stop this. At any time, they could stop this. That's why they don't want to hold town hall meetings, because they know that even their own constituents know that they're being lazy and cowards. And the only way you're going to get rid of those cowards is a hard reset. Burn a motherfucker down. Get rid of all those weak-spined people. Now, I'm not saying that. No, honest. Look, it's not about the party. It's about the character of the individuals who run for those offices. Okay, you have corrupt Democrats, you have corrupt Republicans, you have corrupt Libertarians, but they're not all corrupt. The problem is, in order to get most of them to get the backing of corporations, you have to be corrupt. Okay, you have to be willing to set aside what your constituents are asking you to do, so that you can take the money from billionaires and they tell you what to do. So we have to vote those bastards out. Now, a good way of telling who the corrupt ones are is during the campaigns, where they're getting their money from and who's backing them. All right. So that's your telltale sign right there. So we need to burn it down, the House and the Senate, and start over with more ethical people. I'm not talking about the more ethical people who are going to represent us, those of us who have little. Okay, we have little, but a lot to lose. Or for us, losing a little is a lot. Okay, the Republican president is upending longstanding GOP principles like support for free trade, Despite clear misgivings and a constitutional mandate to decide tariffs, most lawmakers were not ready to cross Trump. They're not ready to do it. They're afraid of him. They'd rather disappoint and hurt their constituents than cross Trump. So instead, they were focusing all their attention on advancing the Trump's big, beautiful bill of tax breaks and spending cuts, even as tariffs, in essence, import taxes, threaten to raise consumer prices across the board and push the global economy into a recession. Now, there's two types of recessions. There's the legal definition of recession, which is when the GDP is down for like 2 or 3 quarters in a row, some bullshit, by so much. It's like if it's down by 2% or 2.5% for 2 months or a quarter, whatever it is. But then there's the real recession. Okay, that's the technical economic term, for recession. But then it's a recession that if you're living from paycheck to paycheck, you are already in that recession. Okay, the recession has already hit you. See, Trump is talking bullshit like the prices of eggs are down by 90%. No, they're not. Okay, before Trump got into office, and actually before the avian flu thing, eggs were jumbo eggs. A dozen jumbo eggs were roughly $3.59 a dozen. I said it because we bought a dozen a week. At its height, at its worst, the eggs got up to almost $10 a dozen, like 9 something a dozen. Now it's down to $6.50 a dozen. Okay, that's still $3 more a dozen than it was like a year ago. So Trump wants to say he brought it down 90%. No, he's bad at math and he's bad at lying, and you're worse than bad if you believe him. Okay. Now, he said the gas was down. When he took office, gas was at $2.79 a gallon in my neighborhood. Okay. It's $3.07 now. $3.07. $2.79 at $3.07. So gas is not down. Again, he's a liar. A big old fat fucking liar. But you have to call him out on it. You can't sit back and just let him lie. Okay. You have to call him out. And if you're on not Blue Sky, well, you're on Blue Sky, if you're on social, yeah, don't want to call it his thing. I don't want to call it by his given name because let's face it, there is no truth there. It's bullshit. It will be truth if you go there and tell the truth, but he's not going to put it on there. And X, same thing. Call them out. Let them know. No, you're lying. This is how much gas is. This is how much eggs are. Trump says that gas was like $1 a gallon someplace, $1 something. Something. Maybe somebody took their coupon and, like if you go shop at, I give you a perfect example. The supermarket where we shop, we get bonus points. Okay, bonus points when we buy food, and we can take those bonus points and apply it to groceries, or we can apply it to gas because they have a gas pump there. When gas was really high, we were applying those points to gas. And so instead of paying full price for gas, we might get like up to $1 off. All right. Or something like that. And then the pump price would reflect it. So let's say today, price is $3.07. We go there, we use it, we get our $1 off. It would say $2.07. I could take a picture and say, gas is $2.07 here, and send it in to Trump or somebody, or put it on social media. I'm paying gas. I'm paying $2.07 for gas. Thank you, Donald Trump. And then, of course, he's going to be a big enough idiot and liar to say, see, gas is down to $2.07. No, that's just one person using their coupon and their discount to get the price that low, and they post that price. So I got something in my eye. I think it's an eyelash. And it's not going away. Sorry. It really isn't going away. Damn it. I'm going to pretend it's not there. So, as the fallout from Trump's announcement reverberated around global markets, Senate Majority Leader John Thune, who has made it clear he is no fan of tariffs, told reporters that he would give Trump the benefit of the doubt in hopes that the announcement
was just a scare tactic to to prod foreign leaders into negotiating better trade deals with the U.S. Okay, here's the bullshit with that. Okay, here's the bullshit. Trump said he was trying to bring manufacturing jobs back to the country. All right, you cannot do both. You cannot have fair trade negotiations or better trade and tariffs and bring back manufacturing. Okay, because here's the deal. Let's pretend. Let's pretend this is our country. Okay, whatever. Okay, if you have factories making stuff here and they're sending stuff out to Canada or whatever, okay, their factories that they're exporting. I went backwards. I'm sorry. Let's say it's the rest of the world. Okay, they're manufacturing stuff and they're sending it here. Okay, because we used to make stuff here. We used to make radios and TVs and stuff here. It became cheaper for companies here to put their manufacturing bases overseas and then just import it. So here's the deal. They moved it over here because it was cheaper. So if Trump says, I'm going to put a 25% tariff on there, so it raises the price so that you will bring your your factory back here. All right. Let's see, the tariff is what, 25% today. They're saying, bring this back and we'll remove that tariff. Okay. It takes 3 to 5 years to build a factory. And maybe $1 to $3 billion to build a factory. All right. So what, they're going to leave that 25% tariff on for 3 years? We're going to pay what, 25% more for what? TVs, cars, food for 3 years while they build this factory? And since they're dealing with Trump, they don't know that he's going to keep his word. No. And then he says, well, no, it's a negotiation tactic. Okay, so fine. So let's say he says, all right, they negotiate it down to, let's say, 10% or 5%. Okay, guess what? It's still cheaper to make it there than here. They're not going to bring the factories back. It's one or the other. You can't do both. Okay, you cannot have fair trade and have the factories back here because the labor is always going to be cheaper over there. It's always going to be cheaper to make things over there because one, when we build stuff here, we take the environment into consideration. Usually, at least we used to. We don't know what's going to happen once Trump gets once the Republican Party gets done with our environment. But we take the environment. That's considered part of the cost. Our people get paid more. That's part of the cost. So you can't do both. So we need people in the House and in the Senate who understand what Trump is doing and who's going to protect us and represent us. Okay. So yes, it is time to burn down the House and the Senate, figuratively speaking, metaphorically speaking. But you can't do both. You can't use tariffs to bring back manufacturing and negotiate a better trade deal. It cannot be done. Before I close, I want to take this opportunity to thank G.D. Fenderson for helping me with everything he's been doing. And you should give him a shot. If you're looking for a gig, if you want to hire a comedian for a gig, for a private event, I recommend G.D. Fenderson. Go to gigsalad.com/G.D. Fenderson. Here's a small taste of what he can do for you. A small taste.
One of my friends says, aren't you concerned that your wife is going to Europe by herself? I'm like, no. Says, don't you think she might cheat on you? No. And she does. That's her business. That's her vagina. She does what she wants with it. She's been taking care of it before she met me. She knows what's good for it. Don't take care of it. I said, I'm not worried. And besides that, if I have to worry about what my wife is doing in Europe, then I'm in the wrong relationship. You know, my wife, and besides, she knows how to say no in several languages. You know, she was in Austria, Hungary. Hungary was first. A guy hit on her, and she goes, Nem. No. No, she's in Austria. A guy hit on her, she goes, Nege. Yes, no, thank you. And she's in Germany, and the guy hit on her. She says, 9. The guy goes, yeah, 9. So my wife and I are joking about it. And I was just joking. I said, yeah, well, you know, you're in Europe. You know, the experience which you're not going to experience at home. You're not getting 9 at home, so 9 will be fine, sure. Do you. You do you. You do you, girl. Have fun. And Carol says, I'll tell you what. When we come to Europe next year, if you meet an attractive woman who wants to sleep with you, and you want to sleep with her, if she has a 9-inch penis, knock yourself out. Fair is fair. Right?
No. I got to undo that. Sorry. I need to sorry about that. There we go. That's what happens when I don't have my people with me to do the things I need them to do. That's right. So thank you for those of you who stuck around. Before I close, I want to thank or wish you all a happy Easter. Those of you who are celebrating it, and those of you who are not celebrating it but had to go to church anyway, I'm sorry. You had a choice. You could have said, I have to be at the Church of Last Resort. You had a choice. So save your family first. Yeah. I want to thank those of you. So, yeah, and that way you can also take your kids there. You can't bring your kids here. I'm not a kid-friendly place. Never was, never will be. I want to thank those of you who have subscribed to my fledgling YouTube channel and Facebook channel, Facebook page, Dr. Reverend Jelly Roll, DrRevJellyRolle. Bless you. I also invite you to go to gigsalad.com and check out GD Fenderson. And the next time you need to hire a comedian for a private or a public event, on behalf of the Church of Last Resort and the entire Roll family, my wife Amona, my kids Cinnamon and Jelly Jr., my my cat Tootsie, and my dog Stop Dropping. I wish you safe travels, and I hope you will join us next week at 9 a.m. Eastern Orthodox Time on Mind Dog TV and everywhere that our word is heard. In the name of George Carlin, Robin Williams, and Richard Pryor. Can I get a fuck yeah? Can I get a fuck yeah? Wow. Fuck yeah! All right. I don't know what the hell happened there. So thank you, children. Thank you.